Hello and welcome to Nighthawk Racing, our F1 RST Championship. I'm Luke Taylor, otherwise known as Midnight ISO, and I will be your host this evening and one of your co-commentators for this Gran Turismo 7 Race Championship. I am joined by motorsport enthusiast, racer and co-commentator Kirk Stanzer. Hello Kirk.
Race last week. I'm looking forward to the race tonight, and all the thrills and spills that will come with it. Luke.
Yeah, and we are in for hopefully what will be a good one as well. So, okay, running onwards. So, here's the series rundown. We have an 8-event championship with 16 race sessions in the sprint and feature race dual format. There are 20 different drivers, 13 different manufacturers, 5 legendary Grade 1 circuits, and 3 classic tracks from the world of Gran Turismo, as well as a partridge in a pear tree. For round 5, we are at the literally historic Japanese track known as Fuji Raceway, infamous and legendary in equal measures, and I'm personally awaiting all the on-track action. The format for tonight for the event is the same as what we saw last weekend, well, the other 4 races, frankly. We have 3 official time sessions, with qualifying up first, followed by our first racing session, the sprint race, which is going to be reverse grid, and then the actual feature race afterwards. But with the dust barely settled since last week's Dragon Trail Gardens, race 5 this evening at the foothills of Mount Fuji will give us yet more on-track action. Kirk, could you give us an overview of the event format, please?
Absolutely. So starting tonight at about 8:30 British Standard Time, we'll have a 10-minute qualifying session, which will decide our grid for the feature race. Before that, we will have the sprint race, which is an open tyre choice, whatever tyre you think you can get the last 15 minutes that the sprint race is. However, the sprint race is reverse the order of the qualifying session. So if you don't qualifying, you can certainly claw some points back in the sprint race. And then after the sprint race, we'll go straight into our main event of the evening, which is the feature race, to which you have to start on the tyre you set your fastest qualifying lap on, and you have to use at least 2 sets of tyres, well 2 different sets of tyres. Bear in mind that the track doesn't get over a third of the moisture bar, which we then consider to be a wet track, to where it is open tyre choice for the rest of the race. Yeah, and then you want to take us down the point system, Luke?
Yeah, not a problem. Okay, simply put, qualifying itself, the top 3 drivers will get some points. First 3 points, second 2 points, and third 1 point. A little bit of a bonus there. Another bonus during the sprint and feature races is that both of the fastest lap drivers will get 2 points each. In the sprint race, they range from 20 points for first down to 2 points for 14th. However, non-finishers will not get any points at all. Any rage quitters out there. For the feature race, it's basically on double the scale of the sprint race. 40 points for first, then down to 36, all the way down to 4 for the final place. So, now Kirk, to the drivers themselves, I'll kick it off. First off, we have Bertie, who was until about 5 minutes ago having to sit this one out, but his internet has settled down, so he's sitting on 99 points, but basically what I'd already planned to say is he has 99 points, but his internet is another 99 points of problems. However, he looks like he will be racing, so I'm going to be looking forward to seeing him actually improve into triple digits. So good to see Bertie in the race last moment. Next one we have Deadline, returning from a 2-race gap and hoping to continue improvement on the wheel. Although I've just been also told he might be on controller, so hopefully he can just have a good, solid race. But let's see what the experienced racer can find himself at a familiar track. Next we have Fred. Showed an impressive turn at pace at Dragon Trail, and I truly mean that. The results obtained mask his real speed so far, and he'll be eager to impress further, get a season best, and threaten the top of the establishment. So good luck to Fred there. Next we have our super sub from Dragon Trail, who we're just going to call Coach because it's much easier on that one. So yes, our super sub, he might be new to us, but he's no means unfamiliar to the podium, it would seem. Taking the grid by storm in the sprint race and then to a top 5 finish in the feature race itself. A great first impression and hopefully one of many to come. Next up, we have our very own KD the Kai, or simply Kai. Despite his super pace, Kai is still looking to take the fight more to our championship leader. And he's coming away with lots of podiums every single race, but he's going to be on the charge for the biggest haul of points of the season yet so far. That GTR had best do its utmost to keep in touch with Kai's speed and talent. Unfortunately, we may have had a dropout from Koulios, so that is still just to be seen before the start of the race. But I will just say, this season for Koulios has been boom or bust for Koulios so far. He's going to have to hope for a little bit more consistency. And he was scheduled to take a penalty today, but if he's not here, that will roll over to next week. Next up, Lee. To me, the surprise of the championship, sitting 5th in the championship, only 7 points behind SimRace Dude. Lee has shown a lot of composure and solid ability to pace himself throughout the sessions, grabbing handfuls of points every single race without fail. Keep up the effort and push for those podium positions, Lee. Over to you, Kat.
Starting off with Mac, he'll be looking to bounce back from it, which was a pretty poor race at Dragon Trail, both races. After a penalty due to contact with Midnight on the first lap of the sprint, resulting in a penalty, making him finish 8th. And which followed up with, again, another very disappointing from his perspective feature race, which saw him finish P11. I'm hopeful for a strong round this week, which will see him challenge for both podiums in both sessions tonight. Heading into tonight's round, McManley sits 3rd in our championship on 156 points. And then we've got the returning Nick. Returning to Nighthawk champion chasing, we have Nick. Surely he'll be searching for a top 10 finish in either event tonight. Then we follow up with Pedro. Pedro, we're looking to follow up again, which was a very solid week last week, taking 4th in the feature race, only a few seconds behind you, Luke, and 6th in the sprint race. He'll be wanting to do much the same, but will be hungry for a podium finish. He is currently sat 6th in our standings on 119 points, battling for 4th with only 9 points between 4th, 5th, and 6th. And then tonight we'll have Sarah, who will be on track again. After joining me in the commentary booth last week, she'll be looking at keeping it clean and fast tonight to help claim the maximum amount of points tonight. Following Sarah, we have SimRace Dude. An impressive round all from SimRace Dude last week, finishing an impressive 5th in the sprint race and 7th in the feature race. He'll be wanting to follow up last week's result with another good showing tonight. He is currently 4th in our standings, leading the tight battle we've seen between him, Lee, and Pedro in the championship on 128 points. And then we have Stephen. A difficult round last week for Stephen, although there's certainly some positives to take away from it, such as running near the front for much of the sprint race, and with some very good defensive driving. Unfortunately, he ended up finishing P10 in the sprint race, and then another unfortunate P12 in the feature race. I'm sure this week he'll be hoping for 2 top 8 finishes tonight, as he is currently 11th in on our championships on 65 points. Stephen will also be serving a penalty in the sprint race, to which he will fall back to the back of the pack at the start due to accumulation of penalty points due to incidents throughout the season. And then tonight we have Swizzy. Of course, Swizzy. Who else but Swizzy? It was another fantastic showing from him last week, finishing 1st in every session and almost getting the maximum amount of points available if it wasn't for KD the Kai stealing the fastest lap in the sprint race. He currently has a 57-point lead over Kai in our championship, with him being on 253 points. And finally, we have Ziggy, who's running a bit late, so he won't be in qualifying or the sprint race, but he'll be hoping to join us for the feature race tonight. And he'll be trying to iron out any of the mistakes he's made in the previous leagues and make the most of his almost incredible pace at times. And hopefully, he'll be looking to challenge the top 5 in the sprint race. He is currently 14th in our standings on 41 points.
Very good, Kirk. Yes, I
And
agree with all that, man. Anything else to say before we head off to the quick roundup? No, okay. I'll move on. Right, okay. So just with the championship up there, I'm just gonna leave that up there. I'm just gonna do a quick brief talk about Fuji. The qualifying has just got underway, by the way, so we will keep an eye out for all of the action on there. But we'll just quickly bound through this, and we're ready to go. So, Fuji, what more can be said about this track without mentioning that movie-inspiring moment from 1976 with Rush? Rain lashing down around the course as the 1976 F1 season drew to a close, while Lauda almost lost his life earlier in the year, and the British driver, the ever popular British driver, James Hunt, was wanted to be crowned by champion by the public. And this was televised all over the world, which was the first back then. Forever will Fuji and its weather be written into F1 lore because of that one race. Many say the same conditions were repeated at the same event in F1 in 2007. But who knows? Will we see some on-track wet weather action here on GT7 tonight? Or a sprint drive to the finish from our F1 RST drivers? The track itself is a clockwise track at 2.8 miles or 4.5 kilometers and features some incredibly punishing corners such as the 100R and Panasonic curve, which are designed to shred those left-hand side tyres. This track really rewards a fine and accurate touch and those able to carry the speed desired, but with keeping those wheels below the thermal degradation threshold. So it's a bit of a challenging one, Kirk. Any thoughts from you on this track?
Yes, Fiji is a track I've driven a lot of times, whether it be on GT7, Gran Turismo Sport, or any of the older Gran Turismo games. Although I'm not a big fan of it since its redevelopment, it's still a track that holds a dear place in my heart. Whether it be trying to spot your braking point for turn 1, nursing the tyres through the Panasonic curves or 100R. And whether you're trying not to spin out in the final sector. I think we'll see the cars that have a high top speed do really well here. So stuff like the Swizzies and Kai's GTRs. And I think if we do see a Kyrgios tonight, I think his Mazda will go quite well around here. It's all, and I'll be interested to see how it works out at the front with both two fast drivers like Swizzy and Kai battling for the top spot tonight, Luke.
Yeah, I think you're right there. Apparently, we have had some connection issues with this race already, so we are having a few technicals out there. So this wouldn't be a GT7 without it, but it is set up for what could be a very, very entertaining race.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm looking forward to it. I'm expecting a lot of drama out on track because this is a very easy track. Maybe just go a little bit wide, go a bit too committed, and just all put the throttle on a bit too much and just spin. As we see, Kai setting the lap, that's quite a bit quicker than Swizzy starting off there, Luke.
Yeah, he's definitely got he's got a bit between his teeth today. He's pushing very, very hard. So wouldn't expect nothing less from KD, the guy who's going after Swizzy, who's had the outright pace for most of this season so far. But he will be aiming to get those extra points for the pole. So that's what he's going to be trying to do. So good luck to him, frankly.
Interesting to see that Kai is actually on the soft tyre compared to Swizzy's medium. So already in qualifying, we're seeing a bit of alternating strategy choices here, where someone like Kai wants to pace off the start, where Swizzy will probably be going deeper into the race.
Yeah, that has seemed to be the strategy so far, and it's worth a very, very quick refresher that those that start on a certain tyre for qualifying will have to use that same tyre for the opening of the sprint race. So this is going to affect the feature race strategy quite significantly, Kirk.
Absolutely. As we see, most people have set. We see people come out at a second or third laps. Hopefully, help give a more accurate view of where everyone's pace stands. As we see Coach up going up to P4. We see everyone's improving on their laps compared to their provisional times. So far, the person standing out to me is Sim Racing Dude. Maybe a little bit slower than where he'd want to be, down in 6th, 4 seconds off the time at Kai. But I think we've got plenty of time left. We've still got a lot of time for everyone to set a lap time, Luke.
Yeah, they've still got 4 minutes of this session plus whatever lap they're on, so they have at least, they have 4 and a bit minutes, so plenty of time yet. But they're going to be wanting to set personal best, as Pedro does set a PB and goes P5 on the medium tyres today.
We see Ziggy has made it out on track, so he will be here for every event tonight. Unfortunately, not the start he wanted to get off to. As I see, as I joined him, he was just looped it around the final corner. We see Cade Kai is also ran wide at the final sector. That's obviously not what you want when you're on a flying lap. And he goes letting Deadline through. Very, very impressive lap from Deadline, might I add. Up in P3 right now, only a 10th off Swizzy, Luke.
Yeah, he looks like he's much more at home on that controller today, so he's going to be trying to bring home a massive haul of points, a season best for him. And the easiest way to do that is to qualify at the front. So that's what he's trying to do. Here comes Coach. He goes up to P4. Actually, he might have just improved his time more than anything. Sim Race Dude, I think he's just done that. There's a lot of just marginally improving times at the moment, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. You see Sim Racing Dude improved by 1.2 seconds, but only jumped up the one position. We're also seeing a range of strategy. With Swizzy not being our only driver qualifying on the medium tyre, we also see the likes of Pedro, Sim Race Dude, Fred, Bertie, Nick, Sarah, and Ziggy all qualifying on the medium tyre. That leaves our sovereign as being Katie Kai, Deadline, and Coach. So yeah, we're going to see a lot of strategy possibly during this feature race night, which could see Swizzy getting beaten off the line by both Deadline and Coach, which could do quite well for Kai's chances tonight. Obviously, if Kai can pull away while Swizzy gets caught up in traffic, I think this could be playing into KD the Kai's favour already, mate. Luke.
Yeah, it's entirely possible. I think it's going to be absolute race on as we have 90 seconds left of this session. Yeah, KD the Kai is clearly going for the out-of-the-block strategy as Bertie has improved his time in 8th place. He's still got more to find in that McLaren, I'm sure. But yes, I think Swizzy's going for the longer strategy, and that has worked out for him so far. He's running a new livery today, I see, which looks kind of cool. But very, very blue and gold, very distinctive. But yes, I do agree with you. It's KD the Kai's race to take to Swizzy today, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Unfortunately, we see Bertie spinning and crashing into the wall, and that is his session over as he does not have enough time left to get round and start a new lap. So Bertie is at the minimum starting P8 in our sprint race, or feature race, shall I say, tonight. It's unfortunate. You never like to see it, do you, Luke?
No, but it will mean he's having a little bit of luck with starting perhaps towards the front on the sprint, and he's done very well in the sprints in this format. Just a reminder that for those that participate in qualifying, it is reverse grid for the sprint race, This qualifying is actually to set up the feature race, which takes place second. So, dying seconds, Kirk. We're going to see KD Nakai pole.
It certainly looks like it. You know, being 8 tenths clear as Swizzy's no mean feat, and it looks like he could hit. I might not even be able to improve his lap. It looks like he is all over the back of deadline, which could be costing him a bit of time in the final sector. But we won't know until we go up to the line. Obviously, he does be able to claim some time back due to the toe of the Mazda in front of him. As he runs the line, can he improve? He does not. So both Deadline and K-Tide do not improve. Neither does Swizzy. But we see Coach set a new personal best time that puts him up into P3, only 26 hundredths faster than Deadline. Our next person to cross the line is Sim Race Dude, but unfortunately he doesn't improve. This just leaves Fred and Pedro who are on flying laps now, and Ziggy as well, who's we are our last runner tonight. We have 3 people yet to set a lap time. As we see Pedro's come. Oh, is that a spinner? A half spin at least from looks like Fred on the pitch rate. That's his session over. And if Pedro sets a lap time, he improves to P5. Going in front of Sim Race Dude, but not being able to really catch that lead Coach or Deadline, who again are both on the soft tyres. Our last person to sell that time will be Ziggy. Can he get a good exit out of this final corner? It looks like a nice exit, all right, and that's just a run up to the line, Luke.
Yeah, he's going to be wanting to put in a good performance. He's going to be starting on that medium tyre as well, so he's going for the longevity in the feature race. But where can he qualify? Can he displace Bertie? Just about. He's got into 8th place, so good lap from our Ziggy. As we always call him, the old man of the series, but it's not doing him justice. He's young at heart, and he is still absolutely pushing for all of his life and doing his best. So well done to our Ziggy out there. P8, not bad, Kirk, not bad.
I don't think he'd be too upset with it. Obviously, the medium tyre gives him lots of options in the feature race tonight. You know, say if we get a bit of rain coming towards the middle of the race, you know, he might be able to use that to his advantage. And then for the sprint race, obviously, he starts towards the front of the pack. So hopefully, if he can keep it clean, he might be able to have a good chance here at getting some half decent points.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to be asked. He's going to be looking forward to it. Kirk, if you want to take it away for a moment, I'm going to have to do a lobby reset because we've had a dropout who I think is trying to get back in. So if you want to give us the rundown for qualifying, we'll go from there, my man.
Absolutely. So your qualifying results tonight for the feature race. We start off with Katie Kai, who's his fastest lap was a 38.1, and that was on the soft tyre. So he's obviously wanting to get the jump off from the start and try and run away from this race. Then we have Swizzy, who is set his lap time on the harder medium compound tyre on a 39.0. Our next 2 drivers both set 39.2, well, they're 39.23 and a 39.25 respectively. That is Coach and Deadline. They will both be starting on the soft tyre. 5th place, only 3/10, well, yeah, 3/10 back is Pedro. I'm sure he'll be very happy with that performance, especially on the medium tyre. So maybe not be able to challenge Deadline or Coach off the line, but I'm sure he'll be up there trying to battle them as them soft tyres wear out, probably between lap 5 or 6. Then 1.2 seconds behind Pedro, we have Sim Race Dude. I'm sure he won't be the happiest with that result, or the happiest being so far off Pedro. But I'm sure he'll be able to challenge Pedro or someone later on in the race. After that, we have Fred, also on the medium tyre. I'm sure he's trying to challenge them, some soft runners or soft runners that do pit earlier than him. I'm sure he'll be able to use this alternative strategy to his advantage. On the frame, we have Ziggy, we saw improve on his final lap. to go in front, just go in front of Bertie by a tenth. The P9 we have Bertie, 10th we have Sarah, and then we have Nick rounding out our proper qualifying order in P11. The results our qualifying results will be reversed for this race, which is a 15-minute race. So that will see Nick start on pole, followed by Sarah. Bertie takes P3, Ziggy in P4, Fred P5, Sim Racing Dude P6, Pedro in 7th, Deadline in 8th, Coach I say, in 9th, Susie in 10th, and Katie the Kai in 11th.
Yeah, that's very good. Correct. The lobby is being reset as we speak. We have had a few technical dramas with GT7, as will sometimes be the case. So, Kirk, with those standings as they are, it could be quite entertaining, couldn't it? We could be very well in for an interesting race.
Yeah. Obviously, Pedro taking out qualifying both Lee and Sim Race Dude, which could put him in prime spot for taking P4 in our championship after this round, Luke. Especially given how there's only what is that, 9 points between them. So this could be anyone could take P4 this round.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, even for the sprint, we're going to be having a potentially mixed up grid, but once we get going, hopefully we can have a bit of a standard good race, and that's all we need here. And a lot of the drivers out there will be wanting to have a nice clean race.
Absolutely. I think, and the battle for P4 isn't the only battle in our points championship tonight, Luke. We've got both Sarah and Ziggy on 41 points, so either of them two could beat each other here. That could gain the extra point. And obviously, I don't think we got Koulios here tonight, so Stephen can get some good points on him there.
Yeah, anything is absolutely possible, and with a couple of drivers not making it into the session due to logistical reasons, points are up for grabs here today.
Yeah, absolutely. As we look at the calendar, we see next week we've got the Nürburgring, Luke, which you'll be driving at. You're looking forward to it.
Absolutely, it's one of my personal favourites, and I'm not going to say I always go well there, because it's one of those courses that is do or die on some occasions, but it's one I hope to go well at, and that's taken us into February for our round 6. Personally, looking forward to it. How about yourself on the commentary side?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look at Suzuka. We're going to have a Valentine's special, aren't we, at Suzuka?
And that'd be me and you together, man. I look forward to it. We'll call it a commentator date.
Absolutely. Yeah. And then obviously we round up our championship on the 21st of February at the beloved Red Bull Ring. I'm a big fan of the Red Bull Ring. I know you are too, Luke. We tend to have a lot of pace on there. I'm sure you could keep up with Susie with your eyes closed there at Red Bull Ring, Luke.
Well, I'll tell you now, I will not be closing my eyes. It will be absolutely on stalks trying to extract the best out of the car. So I'm with you on that, and that's the idea. We're going to try and see what we can do and go for a good result on every race. What I'm going to do at the moment, Kurt, give us a momentary break. I'm going to put it on the intro movie just so we can gather the drivers, make sure everything's working, and we'll bring you the sprint race as soon as possible. So bear with us a moment. We'll be right back. Okay, Kirk, we are back. We didn't go very far, but we are back regardless. So, back to the world of Fuji and our F1 RST Championship Round 5. Here we go. Are we looking forward to this, my man?
Yeah, absolutely. It seems we've had we managed to get 2 extra people in, or 2 of our missing members. We managed to join back in now. We're both McManley and Lee joining us for the remaining sessions tonight. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'll be looking forward to seeing McManley cut his way back through the pack. Obviously, if he can keep it clean and all. You know, he tends to be up there with the top drivers with our Swizzies and our Katie the Kais and that. Maybe his strategy calls sometimes aren't the best, but I'm looking forward to see a lot of overtakes tonight, Luke.
Yeah, exactly the same. And you are right. Lee is just snuck in the lobby. He got in there by about 10 seconds to go. So we have a full grid. And I'm always very, very happy with that. So let's get this sprint race underway. We'll see what strategy calls go on. What's going to be interesting in this one is how many drivers do potentially go to medium tyres for the sprint race. Because those tyres on the softs are going to shred, aren't they?
Oh yeah, absolutely. We saw even beforehand, if you're a bit too aggressive on the soft tires, this track just absolutely eats through them. So you know, I'm thinking maybe our drivers who are nicer to the tires. So like, we saw last week, we saw a chef, I should say, coach. He was a lot nicer to his tires than what we were seeing the people around it being, and they went the distance, and he made them work in the sprint race last week to finish second. I think I'm interested to see how Bertie and Ziggy do. Obviously, Bertie again is known for his ability to be clean and really help ease them tyres to make them last. Interesting choice as well. We see Sarah. She's starting on the medium tyre, so she obviously thinks she can't get a set of sauce to the end of the 15 minutes. As we go underway, we see Sarah already looking at the inside and Nick going into turn 1. She thinks better of it. Her braking a bit early catches Ziggy and Bertie both rub doors. And as we look down the pack, we see a lot of clean racing. We see Swizzy and Katie the Kai already up a few positions. Well, Swizzy's already overtaken Coach into the first corner. Oh, and we see drama kick off as it seems like Nick trying to get out of the way of everyone. Sent Sim Race dude wide, and that is not a good start to Sim Race dude's sprint race this evening, as it sends him plummeting down towards 11th. As we see the entire pack going all side by side up in front. We see Fred and Swizzy both going side by side. What a start from Swizzy, starting down in P11, I want to say, and he's up to P5 already. That's 5 cars overtaken. Or looking up the inside of the deadline, thinking better of it, maybe giving him the deadline a little bit of a tap there. And we see Fred looking at the inside of Swizzy as well. Yeah, there's a lot of overtaking going on here, Luke.
It's all going off, isn't it? Absolutely. Good racing by everyone so far. We've not seen any silly little bumps or little spins or anything like that, so well done. And we do have the Hawkeye and the Ziggy and Deadline 1, 2, 3 out front at the moment. Absolutely cracking race for the sprints from these trio, with Ziggy trying to go up the inside on the final corner for a drag race down the straight. And we do see someone going wide. That was Swizzy going wide off the track there. Let's see if we catch it on replay.
Yeah, hopefully we can see them tyres clean up before the break-in zone of turn 1. As most people are running. So what happened to the? Oh, it looks like 3 into 1 doesn't quite work, fellas. And we see Swizzy going wide. He's up, so going back on board. Oh, late dive from Fred. Oh, gets sandwiched in between both McManley and Fred from poor Swizzy there, which sends McManley wide enough the track and has him dropping down towards the back of the pack. Unfortunately there, Luke, if you can get a replay of it.
Yeah.
Pedro also picking up a half-second penalty. Yeah,
Fortunately, again, missed the replay on that.
3 into 1 doesn't quite work, fellas, as we see McManley being again the big loser in that.
Oh, we've lost Sarah. Buckle. We've lost Sarah with a little spin. That's unfortunate.
Their medium, unfortunately, not able to get their medium tyres to fire up properly. Obviously, no grip on exit and just loops it round.
Yeah, will happen. if it's going to be anywhere, it's probably going to be at that corner. It's very, very tricky. It's a slow speed corner straight after a long high speed corner, and if you're going to lose traction, it's going to be there. But Deadline out into a P1, followed by Ziggy, followed by Swizzy. It's there's a lot of good racing so far. I'm absolutely pleased to see all of these drivers doing so well and so cleanly so far, from what I've seen anyway, Kirk.
Yeah, absolutely. We've had a few 3-into-1s that's not quite working, as we see Katie the car going inside of Bertie into the final corner and getting the better run down the straight. Bertie, who's possibly also going to be losing out to Lee down the front straight here. Now it's interesting. Is Lee going to go? They are going to go 3 wide into turn 1 loop.
That might be 4 wide, Kirk. Bertie.
Thinks better of it. Hopefully we don't have anything. What happened to McManley on the previous lap? It seems like everybody's sorted themselves out, with our big loser there being Bertie dropping from P5 to P7. But we see Lee making 4 overtakes down one straight and going from 7th or 8th up to P4 loop. What an overtake!
I know, and he started P13 out of this lot as well. So cracking pace from him, considering he's had no practice as well. But I'm going to start being concerned with some of the tyre life of these cars. As we see around the right-hander, Swizzy and Ziggy side by side heading down towards the hairpin, Kirk.
Yeah, absolutely. Who's going to outbrake him? They both brake at about the same time. Ziggy goes a little bit deep and he holds onto P2 into the hairpin, you know, taking that inside line and really outbraking Swizzy and taking the race in line. Gives Swizzy nowhere to go, pretty much. But it's all fair, all clean, all legal, and I'm sure Deadline is counting his lucky stars right now, because I'm sure he wants Ziggy to hold Swizzy up for as long as he can, Luke.
Yeah, he's going to be trying to do that, and he's going to be going for a move down to turn 1, I feel, as we see Big Crazy Bertie and McManley around the out. Oh, 3 wide out of the final corner. Might turn into 5 wide at one down the straight. Let's go straight to the front. Let's have a look, see what's going on with Swizzy and Ziggy. Swizzy has gotten around Ziggy out of the traction zone, but Ziggy's coming back at him, Kirk.
Yeah, absolutely. 10 Swizzy coming back at Swizzy by going around the outside. Swizzy outbreaks him, gets to the apex, parks it on the apex. Ziggy looking at the cutback. Oh, just couldn't get the power down quick enough, and that Swizzy passed Ziggy at the first corner, well, defending successfully from Ziggy at the first corner. Now Swizzy is now unleashed. Take hunt down Deadline. That gap is currently at 2 seconds. I'm sure it's not going to take Swizzy any time to chew down that gap, Luke.
Well, he's going to be trying, but we have to note that Deadline is on his more experienced controller, so he's going to be pushing very, very hard. I'm just watching Big Katie the Kai going very wide out of the left-hander there, but he's managed to keep it, not get a penalty, so well done there. But yeah, it's now a race between Deadline and Swizzy, which is the last thing Deadline wanted to see on lap 4. I mean, I think I've mentioned it before. If you want Swizzy behind your Genghis Khan, I'll choose Genghis Khan. You do not want Swizzy trying to catch you down on soft tyres around the course, do you?
Absolutely not. You know, there's a lot. Oh, and we see Ziggy picking up a ½ second penalty. Oh, not really what you want to be doing, Ziggy. You want to be trying to keep it clean. We don't want stuff like this.
Yeah, and that is going to be crucial. Okay. Crucial down the back straight.
I'm pretty sure it'll be okay because he has got a 1.7 gap to the car behind. Although that gap's coming down quick. It's a second. It's 9/10. It's 8/10. You know, he's catching at a rate of notches that penalty, but I don't think Lee's going to be close enough really to challenge into the first corner. We see the battle for P6 and Coach and McManley up the inside.
No, I have the same trouble with his name as well. I want to call him Coachy Coach, but I do exactly the same thing. But he's got Sim Race Dude following Mac and Coach, so it's a good little battle here going on.
Yeah, absolutely. As we know, McManley's starting towards the back of the pack. He didn't. Oh, and Coach here getting a ½ second penalty, extending just a little bit too much, Luke.
Yeah, that was probably picked up through that Coca-Cola curve. Out front, got to check this out, 3 temps. Swizzy's caught him already. Has Deadline had a little bit of a mistake somewhere? Or was that just the raw pace from Swizzy, but either way, it looks like this is going the way of the flying fin.
Absolutely. Oh, I don't know if you saw any contact in your screen, because on my screen it looked like Swizzy just hit into the back of Deadline quite hard.
Just watching a replay of
Yeah.
Katie the Kai. I think he almost lost it out of the chicane, but he's kept it pointed in the right direction. He's going to be very happy to have done that at least.
Yeah, absolutely. At the front of the pack, we see Deadline weaving to the right, going back to the left, trying to break that toe. I don't think there's any defending from Swizzy. Swizzy is a man on a mission and not someone you can keep behind easily. As I say, going right over to the right, making his defence clear. Swizzy tries to outbreak him. Deadline goes a little bit deep, doesn't quite meet the apex, and holds on to P1 right now. As Swizzy tries to take the shorter line in towards turn 3, but Deadline manages to hold him off just for one more lap, Luke.
Yeah, but we have a departed for third. Ziggy has fallen down to fourth, with Katie the Kai joining the battle as well. Lee's up to third, despite starting second to last. Absolutely cracking race from Lee. But
Swizzy, where's this?
And Swizzy has gotten into the lead. Just have to go on that on replay. Yeah, he's coming round the 100R. Will it be a switchback into the left-hander? Or does he go clear around the outside? It's a switchback, Kirk. Classic move from Swizzy. They're beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, take the tighter line and just thank you very much. Obviously, he saw Deadline go quite deep into the previous corner and says, you've messed your line up here, so I'll just cut back on you."
Yeah.
Although we still see Deadline not really dropping off. Deadline sending it into the final corner. Can he make it stick?
He has done. He's come back at him. Oh, big oversteer moment out of the corner. But Swizzy's going to get the slipstream. What will Deadline take the racing line, or will he just sit on the inside, Kirk? And behind that, 4th, Katie the Kai. Where do we look?
Oh, that was very, 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 very aggressive squeeze from Deadline right there. As you see Swizzy trying to outbrake him into turn 1. He makes his apex perfectly, parks it on the apex and says, "Thank you very much, Deadline." As you see Swizzy now taking P1 from Deadline.
And
if you want to
Katie
take
the Kai. Katie the Kai up to P4, chasing down Lee. Katie the Kai up to 4th. Getting past Ziggy into turn 1. Cracking race from all 5 of these front runners so far.
Absolutely, you never know where to look with all this battling, Luke. I don't think we still know who's going to finish on our podium, do we?
Do you know what, though? Do you know what I'm noticing? I think Deadline's going to run out of tyres. I don't think he's got P2 secure at all. Katie the Kai is going to come at him. Lee's going to have the same problem, and so is Ziggy. If they haven't all moved their brake bias to the back, they've still got 4 more laps, at least, 4 more minutes and about 3 more laps to do. So those on the soft tyres, they're going to be struggling. SimRace Dude also has front end damage from somewhere, so he's shadowing this lot, but he has a Pedro on him on medium tyres, who's going to be coming at these guys with a lot longer life tyres. Kirk, and looks like he is the only driver other than Fred and Sarah, sorry, are on medium tyres. Nick has pitted somewhere for hard tyres. So I think most drivers on the softs are going to be struggling, Kirk.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we see Swizzy is got a comfortable lead now at 8/10, and that Mazda's not really catching him into turn 1. I think we've got a Swizzy victory all but sealed, pretty much, bar a rare mistake which we don't really see Ziggy make. I think if I'm Deadline now, I've got 7.5 seconds to the car behind, so just take it easy to the end.
Ooh, into turn 1, mate.
I'm sure Deadline.
Oh, into turn 1, Mac, Pedro and Coach all together. Sorry, Pedro got squirrely coming out of the final corner. Mac has got past him, but Mac's tyres are going to be dying soon if he's not careful. But this battle isn't over at all. I mean, it looks like the win might be sorted, but the rest of the pack are still fighting hard.
Yeah, it looks like it. You see, Ziggy still only has is only half a second back from Lee. so anybody could get P4. But I don't think Katie Kai is going to be able to catch a deadline on on the final few laps that we have left tonight
Oh,
in our
Stephen and
sprint race
Bertie.
tonight.
Stephen and Bertie. We haven't seen much of them, but they're going side by side down into the hairpin cut. This is going to be a good one.
Yeah,
Bit of
absolutely.
a
As we see Bertie trying to outbrake Stephen into the hairpin. Stephen going a bit deep. Can Bertie hit a cut back into this final sector? Not quite. But I think it's going to be. Oh, Stephen go quite deep into the next corner. They're going side by side now. Stephen obviously with the ideal racing line. Bertie slotting him behind for now at least. Probably looking to get the best line or the best exit he can onto the pit straight to be able to challenge Stephen into turn one. Again, not a great line from Stephen, although he gives him a good exit. Do you think Stephen Bertie's gonna be close enough to challenge Stephen into turn one, Luke?
I think he might be, as Coach gets down the inside of Pedro for 8th at turn 1. But we're going to go back to Stephen and Bertie. Stephen is, he's going to be struggling with his tyre wear a bit, but we know Bertie is a solid driver. He's not going to dive bomb him, but he's going to see what he can do. But otherwise, we still see Fred is circulating around just behind these two, with Sarah catching Fred, it looks like. So it looks like that race isn't over, but it looks like we are on potentially the final lap. Only 35 seconds to go. We might see Swizzy and Deadline start a final lap, but Deadline's front left tyre looks like it is giving up. So 5 seconds between Deadline and Kai, who's just caught him half a second in like one corner, it looks like. So it's not over. Lee's left front tyre is absolutely gone. That is a chance for Ziggy. But it looks like it's going to be the final lap for most of these drivers, Kurt.
Yeah, absolutely. Sim race dude could be our big winner here if he plays his cards right, even with that front aero damage.
I think that's it.
Lee and Ziggy aren't gonna be able to turn in very well.
Yep, that's it, Kurt. We're not going to see another lap.
Not gonna see another lap.
No, Swizzy's taking the win.
Yeah, Swizzy winning, followed by Deadline. Only very respectable drive from Deadline. Kai taking third. Lee taking P4. Can Ziggy hold on to P5? He
Photo
can hold
finish.
on to P5.
Photo finish.
Absolutely. That front end damage really costing Sim Race dude. On the run up to the line, obviously that aero damage caused him to have more drag.
Fred and Stephen, it's still not over. Oh, that's a photo finish. Oh man, that went to the wire for so many drivers. Brilliant stuff out there. Brilliant. We've already seen Nick finish. We got Sarah who's doing her weaving thing. I should tell her off that actually. but she comes across, takes the final position on the lead lap. Cracking results there, Kirk, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. We saw a lot of exciting racing up and down the pack. Obviously, we see surprise results such as Deadline taking P2, Ziggy in P5. Lee taking P4. What a fantastic drive from Lee, starting at the back of the pack and finishing on P4. Luke, I think no matter what, he's got to be our driver of the day for the sprint race.
Oh, do you know what? Considering he had no practice, hell yeah. Absolutely, hell yeah. Cracking result. Quite frankly, I'm impressed with everyone. I know I sound like I say that a lot, but I think everyone did amazingly this one. We've some good racing, and everyone has shone through amazingly. But kudos. I'm always biased, but Ziggy getting a double thumbs up from that one as well. And Sim Race Dude. Mac, who didn't get any practice as well, and we know he was off at turn 1 at some point, so he's come back as well. So many standouts there, Kurt.
Yeah, absolutely. And if I just say something, if we look at the fastest laps, bar Swizzy and Katie Ko, obviously our two absolute alien drivers, everybody is within a second. Well, the rest of the pack is within a second of each other. So that really sums up for some close, exciting racing in our sprint race, or should I say feature race. Also, an interesting though, fourth to 8, well, fourth to ninth, should I say, separated by only 5 seconds, Luke. So, yeah, I think we're gonna have a lot of interesting racing with a lot of overtaking happening down the pit straight, in our feature race tonight, Luke.
Yeah, I'm massively looking forward to this one. So, Kirk, that's the sprint race done. Now for the tactical stuff, I fear. So,
Yeah, absolutely. Luke, yeah, if you want to talk as well, I just have to do something quickly. I'll be back in a minute.
no problem. So, to the sprint race, to the feature race. I'll get that right one day. Coming next. So, just a quick refresher, which will be on the screen now. It's going to be 34 laps of the Fuji Speedway. The drivers that qualified on a compound tyre will have to start the race on that same compound tyre. So, we're going to be in for some tactical variation here. We do know that some drivers chose medium tyres, some chose softs. So the ones that chose mediums are going to go longer, as would obviously be the case. And those that chose softs are going to be trying to get out the way in the distance early on. What we're going to do for the moment, we're going to put you back to the highlight reel, and we'll be right back after this. Let's get the lobby ready, and we'll bring you the second half and the feature race. Okay, and here we go. It's time for the race. The feature race, which will be 34 laps of the Fuji Speedway for our F01-RST Championship, hosted by Nighthawk Racing. So, go. Let's get underway. Let's enjoy this one. And it's a false start procedure, so all of the drivers out there are going to have to do their best not to jump the start. Here we go. 1 light, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here we go. Lights out, and they're off. Go, take it away into turn 1. I think we've lost Kurt briefly. Katie the Kai, who's starting on soft tyres, looks like he's going to be wanting to get into turn 1. Swizzy is on medium tyres, so he's going to be vulnerable at the start. We have him chased by Coach and Deadline. They're going to be wanting to stay with him at very least, coming through the Coca-Cola curve. Deadline with a late move, almost getting in touch with Coach there, but he's going to be pushing those soft tyres as hard as he can. But Swizzy has managed to maintain second place at the moment. We're going to look forward through the pack, see what is going on. Looks like we've seen everyone being restrained so far and doing well. Mac is going to be trying... Whoa! Sarah having a little bit of a desync moment there. That was entertaining. But it looks like everyone is behaving themselves at the moment. Are you back with me, Kirk? No, I think we still lost Kirk for the meantime. We're going to continue on. So Ziggy and Stephen and Bertie all together. Oh, we've just seen an either... I'm not sure if Stephen has lost it or had a... I think with Max slowing down, we know what that is. That might be a slight little incident. Let's see that from Mac's point of view. Well, that's one for the stewards. But it's good to see Mac waiting for Stephen. So, back to the front. Katie the Kai, 1 second clear of our championship leader, Swizzy, who is in hot pursuit. Deadline, P3 has got past Coach somewhere. So, well done to Deadline, who again is on the controller for this race. Coach heading down the main straight. Sim Race Dude in P5, closely followed by Pedro, who is going for the move into turn 1. Thinks better of it. Sim Race 2 gives him space, so that might end up catching him out, because I think Sim Race 2 got a little bit squirrely coming out of the first corner. Has now been passed by Pedro and put Fred onto the back of him. Fred is going to have the race in line, Sim Race 2 with the inside line, but all the other drivers come streaming through the Coca-Cola curve into the 100R. Big Crazy Bertie just following Lee in 8th place. Followed by Ziggy, who's going to be looking to repeat a good performance in the feature race. Sarah up to P11, doing very well. Followed by Nick, who is putting in a good performance. It's always good to see him on track. Followed by our Manley and Stephen, who's bringing up the rear of the field at the moment. But on those medium tyres, anything can still happen. You just got to go a bit longer and see what happens throughout the rest of the race. So Katie the Kai out front, now 2 seconds clear, making the most of those soft tyres. But those mediums for Swizzy looking absolutely pristine. Will he be doing what he did in Spa and going as long as possible and trying to shorten the amount of stops that he does, forcing Katie the Kai just to go on the sheer attack? Deadline P3, only 2 seconds behind Swizzy at the moment. Pushing hard, maybe up to 2.2 after a little bit of a squirrely moment coming out the final corner. Coach followed by Pedro. We have a chef in the chat to address the chat. Thank you for all of the comments from Snorf and Pedro and Stephen. Thank you very much. And yes, chef, it's good to see Coach doing so well. He's been an absolute super sub to us, my man. And again, thank you to Coach for the follow as well on today, since we're talking about it. So Pedro into turn 1, following Coach, followed by Sim Race Dude, Fred, Lee, Big Crazy Bertie, Sarah Hawkey. Ziggy has fallen to the back somewhere, unseen by us, but he has gone from a strong position down to P11. But he's going to be trying to make his way back. He's on those medium tyres, so he'll go longer than the soft runners in front of him. Mac, he's making his way back. Good on Rain Mac Pro. Air Mac. No, I'm not going to say McDonald's because he'll be annoyed by that one. But Armit Manley making his way back up. Stephen, P13, doing well so far. And Nick, again, always a pleasure to have him here. So, Katie the Kai, 2.4 clear at the moment. The battle at the moment does seem to be with Pedro and Coach and Sim Race Dude, but it's going to be down to tyre wear this one. It does seem to be, again, Battle of the Genesis, which we saw at Dragon Trail Gardens last week as well. These two were inseparable for most of the race, so it's good to see. Particularly, two different drivers from two very different backgrounds and geographical areas in the same car, but doing so well on track together. Sim Race Dude, who's always been so understated in that V12. He's always picking up points, and he's going to be doing it again today, it would seem. Fred in a very, very strong P7 at the moment. Let's see if we can find a battle on track. At the moment, it does look like the next battle is going to be... Well, it looks like Ziggy has fallen victim to McManley. And it does look to be like the next one on the cards will be our very own Nighthawk Racing co-founder, Miss Sarah Hawkey, who is currently running in P10. So watch out for Mac Sarah. Kirk says he'll be back in a moment. He's having technical problems, but he will be back. So we will see Kirk when he is back in a moment. So, onwards, at the front, Katie the Car is pushing for all he's worth. We're going to go on board with him through this final sector. It's a tricky little one. This sector, it makes victims of us all, particularly on the left-hander that he's coming into now. If you hit that curb at the wrong angle, you're picking up a time penalty on the right-hand side there. As we're coming to the Panasonic curve, again, creates a victim of many a person, including myself. But he's using all the limit of the track. He's not overdriving it. He's nice and smooth. Katie the Kite living up to his reputation and pushing that GTR for everything it's worth. And so I noticed on his livery, on the bonnet, he has a little Dragon Ball Super Whis logo. For those that are in the know, all I can say is Ultra Instinct, and he's clearly showing he has the feel around here. But the ever-impressive Swizzy is lurking just behind P2. Again, his tyres are looking good. Let's see what Sarah and Mac are up to. Oh, looks like Mac has got Sarah somewhere. Let's see if we can see that on replay. I think we've actually seen Sarah drop back somewhere. Oh, unfortunately, I think she's had a spin somewhere. We've dropped from 9th down to 13th. And has got Nick on the back of her. So, Nick coming forward, looking to have his best result of the season. He might be looking for a move on Sarah in this next lap or so. Let's see where the battles on track are. Big Crazy Bertie in 9th. Where is McManley? He's a man on the move. P10 at the moment. He has gapped Stephen and Ziggy. So somewhere, I think Ziggy might have had another moment somewhere because he's fallen behind Stephen as well. Oh, I think we might have had a moment down into turn 1. As Nick out. Oh, he's definitely had a moment somewhere. Not quite sure what. Might have accidentally dive bombed Sarah. But he's lucky we missed that. And Mayandak, and how is Fred doing? Let's check him out. He's currently in P7. He's doing fantastically well. If anyone hasn't already, please check him out on YouTube. I think he will be streaming today, so check under the Gran Turismo 7 settings and check him out. I know Sarah Hawkey is also streaming, and I believe McManley will be, possibly Pedro as well. So we have a number of streamers in this lobby. And for those that are new to Nighthawk Racing, please check out our YouTube for the post for the rest of the season on Nighthawk Racing on YouTube. So you'll see all 4 other race events this season. So Katie the Kai is gapped Swizzy by 4.1 seconds, but I'm not liking the life of those tyres for KD. So it's going to be time he's going to start thinking about that first stop. Swizzy looks like he's ready to take the lead off him. So, right, otherwise Pedro and Coach still stuck together and chasing down Deadline, whose tyre wear under control looks surprisingly good. One thing I'd failed to notice is Coach is in fact on the soft tyre. So, Pedro is looking fantastic here at the moment. He is keeping up with not only Deadline on that RX Vision, but Coach as well, both on soft tyres. So Pedro is looking great for a potential sneak podium in this one. Sim Race Dude, as always, a good personal friend, and amazing livery in that V12 Aston. Just doing what he's got to do, getting that V12 around the track, and hopefully a big haul of points. Same goes for Fred. Another rule that we haven't spoken of, there is a mandatory use of 2 different compounds for this feature race. So all of the drivers can't use just the same tyre all the time, they must use 2 different tyres. As Nick is coming out of the pits, will he get in the way of Swizzy? Nick taking the early pit stop, maybe he's just got rid of those soft tyres. Let's go on board with Swizzy for the moment, down into the Coca-Cola curve. Nick looks like he's getting out of the way. Oh, gets in the way of anything a little bit there. But Swizzy will carry on, and he won't have lost too much time for that one at very least. Let's go back to Coach and Pedro, still stuck together as absolute always. One thing that will be looked at, and one thing that the drivers, particularly on the mediums, will not be looking forward to, is the fact that all the soft tyre runners will be undercutting all the drivers. As soon as they go to another set of tyres, they will have the pace again. So it's one for Pedro that is not going to work out being on that medium tyre until later on in the race. He very well may still go for another set of mediums after this, but when he goes to those soft tyres, which you no doubt will want to, will be lightning fast at the end of the race. I think any time now we're going to start to see our first stoppers. We've had Nick in. I don't know if that was for damage or not. But we had one stopper, but all the leaders will be coming around soon. I think Kirk is trying to get back into Discord. Let me see if I can get him back online with us. Just bear with me a momentino. Okay, have we got our Kirk back? No, I don't think we do at the moment. I can only suggest to you, Kirk, if you unplug and replug in the mic and do a technical restart in the settings, make sure all of the USBs are connected up correctly, and we'll go from there. Until then, take your time, my man. Right, out. Down to P3, P4, P5. This battle is still ongoing. And it looks like Coach is going to be wanting to make a move on Deadline soon. Oh, down to the left-hander. Very, very close on the brakes from Coach, but I think these two might be in at the end of this lap. We're going to stay with this one down into the hairpin. That distance was a bit deceptive from the other camera angle. It looked like Coach was on much closer, but you can see how confident he is on the brakes. But it might be only a matter of time before he makes a move on Deadline. Hey, that was quite good, that ride. It's not quite as good as my line from QRT the other day. Schmidt's in the pits. However, we're going to stick with what we've got on this one. Deadline wide on the left-hander there. But he's going to get the traction out of the corner, but that does put Pedro on the back of Coach. It's caught Coach out a little bit. So, we're going to see any pitters in this one. Katie Dekai carries on. Swizzy obviously going to carry on. So, Deadline, Coach, Pedro. Let's go on board with Coach. Doing at least one more lap. Yeah, nice and simple. Little slipstream pass down the main straight, heading down towards turn 1. Pedro watchful in the background. Coach going up to P3 with that little bit more tyre life than our Deadline, who is doing exceptionally well in his best race of the season so far. But he's going to come back at Coach, I feel. On board. Down to the Coca-Cola curve, thinks better of it. Pedro just keeping a watchful eye just behind. This battle is not going to end anytime soon, I feel. Lap 9 of 34, still many, many laps to go. Oh, I think I just heard a Kirk. Oh, contact! Contact. Let's see that on replay. Deadline goes wide on the big left-hander.
Yeah, as we look at the replay, we see Deadline getting a bit of dirty tyres and braking too late and just ramming into the side bone of Coach. obviously not really what you want to see, is it, Luke?
No, afraid not. And welcome back, Kurt. Welcome back. Fortunately, yeah, I think Deadline's tyre life has dropped off. And so is Coach's. Now they're going to be absolute meals for Pedro here. They're not going to be able to turn right at all.
Yeah, obviously Pedro on their medium tyres being able to take his a lot deeper into races. We see Coach going very wide and getting his tyres all dirty for the final corner.
Yeah, Pedro's going to be smiling at that one. Katie Nakai in.
I think we're going to see all three of our soft runners in this lap. You know, they all look very second-hand at this point.
Oh,
yeah, so
almost an
really
incident into the pits there.
Yeah, really. Obviously, they're trying to lose as little time as possible coming into the pit. They're really pushing the limits of it.
Yeah, exactly that.
All our medium runners are probably looking at going quite a few more laps.
Mac down the pit straight, gets past Lee. Let's see that on replay.
Yeah. It looks like quite a simple overtake in the end. You know, in the slipstream with the overspeed, just pulls out to the right and then just sails past and makes a clean move up the inside. Well, not even into turn one. Yeah, he's already passed for the braking zone, so it's quite simple overtake just up the inside down the pitch straight, Luke.
Yeah, exactly that. And those tyres from Mac look beautiful. It does look like Lee is suffering with the tyre deg around here. Welcome back, Kirk. It's good to have you.
Yes, technical issues. It wouldn't be an event without a technical issue, would it, Luke?
No, quite right. It's our second one of the day, so one more and then we're done for the day, hopefully. But Katie Nakai on fresh rubber gets past Big Crazy Bertie in short order around the long left-hander down into the chicane. So Bertie choosing the path of least resistance, not fighting it too hard. Quite sensible, really. But good to see Deadline, who is one of our front runners, has come out only 5-6 seconds behind Katie Nakai. So that's interesting to me.
Yeah.
But Katie Nakai does have a lot more fuel on board.
Which is an interesting point to take, because we don't really know how long these medium tyres are going to last, and is he potentially only doing a 2-stop today? Obviously, we see Deadline who took another set of softs, so which could possibly see him using their entire set of softs up with only half a tank of fuel. So by the end, hopefully he's trying to plan it out to where you have no tyres left and very little fuel to do onto his next stint, Luke.
Yeah, he could well be. I mean, it's a strategy that caught him out last week at Spa, or the week before, sorry, where Swizzy just went super long on the medium tyres and then basically one-stopped the race. Oh, I'll tell you what, that was a deceptive point of view from the track. It looked like he didn't go round wide, but no, he did not. It was just me. But we'll see what Swizzy's going to do, because this is where it's all going to boil down to, Kirk, I feel. They've still got plenty of time. Swizzy's still got plenty of time to make the most of his strategy. And he looks like he's got a whole bunch of fuel. So that's going to be less time in the pits. But shout out to Pedro.
As we saw
Go for it, man.
I was just say, as we saw the soft tyres take about 10 laps, really, before they really started, before people had completely run them out of wear. So I think we could be seeing our final pit stops anywhere after lap 25. So you could really, if I'm someone like Swizzy, if I can get these medium tyres to the end of lap 25, end of lap 15, might I add, I could just take two soft sets to the end.
Quite possible. He does like to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. And it'll be interesting to see how Katie Nakai plays out now, because obviously he's on the mediums. He knows he can take his soft tyres 10 laps. Maybe with a little bit of more care this time, because obviously he'd completely run out of the front left by the end of lap 10. So I'm thinking maybe if he can get these on the end of lap 25, he certainly should be good to go to the end as well, Luke.
Yes. Kurt, give us a lap on board with Deadline. He's going into turn 1 now. He's on fresh soft tyres. Greenie, thank you for the follow on Twitch, and I do urge you to follow us on Nighthawk Racing YouTube as well for the back catalogue. Thank you very much. So take it away, Kurt.
Yeah, as we saw at turn 1, he went a little bit deep, missed his apex really, but as you say, going into turn 3, we But again, a little bit why I really want to take more of that inside curb. But this is the real killer of the track, the tyre killer. You want to do as little turn input as possible while keeping up the speed. He's looking to go around the outside of Big Crazy Bertie, who holds the inside line. Could cost Deadline a little bit on the exit, but is past now, using full advantage of them fresh soft tyres to be able to out traction Bertie down towards the hairpin. Braking just after the marker board on the right there. We're looking at maybe covering a little bit more of the curb. That was a perfect line, just a little bit of desync. Perfect line on the left-hander, and I say that chicane, or hairpin chicane perfectly. A little bit wide on the right-hander. Follows the track. You follow the track round to the left, braking while going wide, following the track outwards to the right, cutting back late to clip a bit of the inside curb. And then this is the most key corner of the track to a good lap time around here, is really managing to nail the exit onto this straight, which he does quite well. Plus, we could have took a bit of a deeper line to allow a straighter exit, but for a lap round Fuji, it's not a bad attempt. Is he going to set a new personal best?
Let's have
not quite a new personal best, but he did have a bit of traffic on that lap, Luke.
Yeah, he did. I mean, at the end of the day, he's coming out directly behind Swizzy, who has been into the pits. So Swizzy again going to those medium tyres. This is going to be Katie the guy's round.
Yeah,
Katie's spun.
Get a replay of that?
Yes, we will definitely get a replay of that. That is an absolute shocker. Coming out of turn 1 onto... Oh, he's gotten on that curb. Oh, he's been lucky not to pick up any damage. Oh, that is a shocker from Katie the Kai. That's gonna that cost him last week at Dragon Trail as well. We'll just have a look out front as well. We've got Deadline and Swizzy still going at it. Deadline's going to be wanting to get past. He's on those softer tyres. He's going to be trying to make a meal of Swizzy on this one, but that's hard, easier said than done, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. when it comes to defending from Swizzy, attacking Swizzy isn't any easier as he holds the inside line at the hairpin chicane.
He's got him.
Giving Deadline the inside line.
He's currently got him, I should say. Swizzy will come back at him down the main straight. But that RX Vision is very quick down the straight lines, as we know.
Yeah,
and Deadline has the benefit of a lower tank of fuel, so he can turn and rotate that car a lot easier, especially with those soft tyres. And again, no one's told Swizzy that.
Yeah, it's all over the back of him. He'll be trying to hold that Mazda up for as long as he can in the race. But we see even in the slipstream, he's struggling to catch that Mazda up. That gap going to 3, actually increasing even with Swizzy in the slipstream. Obviously, the weight of all the fuel out of it is giving Swizzy Deadline, should I say, the better top speed to be able to defend from Swizzy, Luke. Yeah,
and then Katie the car is coming back at them. It was. I just need to say, in a moment ago, 2 laps ago, we had the top 5 or 6 runners all on the medium tyres, who all but Mac and SimRace Dude have now pitted. So the only 2 remaining drivers to pit are SimRace Dude and Manley, who are out front. SimRace Dude puts a lap on Nick, with Mac coming up to do the same. So that gap is closing down as well, as SimRace Dude looks like he's nearly out of tyres. Followed by Mac. That is an impressive shot, that one. But yeah, that battle for what is inherently P1 at the moment, net P1, between Deadline, Swizzy and Katie the Kai is starting to hot up. That's going to have a quick flick through the pack and come back to this one for the main straight. It's Katie the Kai running 5th. Pedro has gone to soft tyres for P6, so he's going to be on the move. He's going for a different strategy than what I thought he would, but doesn't mean it's not the wrong one, not the right one. Sorry. Coach again on those medium tyres. He hasn't done the soft tyres yet, so running P7. Big Crazy Bertie still. Oh, he actually still hasn't stopped. So that's Bertie throwing away my point of view on that one. Lee onto those soft tyres in P9. Fred just pitted back to medium tyres again, so he hasn't used soft either. Simrace Dude is in. Looks like Mac is going to carry on for another lap. Stephen has just freshly pitted onto medium tyres. Miss Sarah Hawkey is on her, I think, second set of medium tyres. We did see Ziggy earlier on with some front end damage, so he is definitely pitted, gotten rid of that, and then on to a fresh set of mediums. Nick on the hard tyres looks like he's going long. So Mac P1 at the moment. So Deadline will just come back, rejoin back into turn 1. Let's get a quick replay of that, because that must have been interesting going down to turn 1 with Swizzy. and Deadline. So, Kirk, what do you think so far?
I think from the race, the bit that I've been watching when I ever try to sort out technical problems, I think this is anyone's race. I'm pretty sure Katie Cow will absolutely be kicking himself for that mistake he made on the exit of turn 1. Now it's an even playing field. If Katie Kai can keep up with Swizzy for now, they'll both be, although Katie Kai boxed before Swizzy, they'll both be on about the same age, soft tyres towards the end of this race loop. They'll probably assume they started on opposite opposing tyres. Or as we see Katie Kai run into the back of Swizzy, unfortunately not picking up any damage there. I don't know if you saw that on your screen, Luke.
I didn't personally see it. Doesn't mean it didn't happen though. The only thing with Katie Kai's strategy is that was very much dependent on him being out front. As you said, they haven't run opposing tyres yet. They're now on the mediums, and Swizzy has the fuel advantage. Mack is in the pit, so Macca's in the pits. He's the second, well, I'm going to say second to last non-stopper. We've still got Bertie going around. He might go around until next week. He always tends to. But Deadline making the most of that making the most of that straight line speed and pulling out of the slipstream to give the following GTRs a bit of a problem with each other. So this is where it is. Deadline 1, Swizzy 2, Katie Kai 3, followed by the ever quiet but impressive Pedro. It's going well so far, Kurt.
Yeah.
He's catching them too.
I don't know where Pedro has come from. Last time I saw Pedro, he was P8, P9. I'm not sure how we've managed to jump up to P4, being 15 seconds ahead of Coach. But I'm sure he'd be very happy with that, Luke.
I would imagine. Oh, Katie Kai with a little drift coming out the left-hander. I think Pedro is on. I think he's nailed on for third on here. I do think we're going to, when it sorts itself out with fuel, I think Deadline's going to be in a net P4. However, it's not going to stop him influencing the other two. He's going to want his moment in the limelight in P1, and he's enjoying it.
I'm wondering, if we've seen Pedro catch by quite a rate of knots, is Deadline possibly purposely slowing the front two down, using that top speed to be able to defend down the straights, and maybe bringing Pedro into this battle for P1, Luke?
Ah, the old Carlos Sainz method.
We see Katie Kai again running wide at the exit, picking up a bit of dirt and getting quite a bit of oversteer.
Yeah, he certainly did. Unfortunately missed out on the replay. But down to turn 1. All Deadline has to do, he just has to pin it there. He cannot be passed.
Yeah, absolutely. It'd be interesting to see. Obviously, Deadline's going to have to pit before Swizzy and Katie Kai, but can Katie Kai keep up with Swizzy once Swizzy gets some clean air? I'm thinking not. I'm thinking Katie Kai's mistake is really hurt him this race, as he runs a bit wide, risking the penalty. I think that mistake's really cost him this race, Luke. That buffer he had to both Deadline and Swizzy would have been 7-8 seconds now if it wasn't for that spin. I think it was Katie Kai's race to lose, and I think he might have lost it due to that spin, Luke.
Yeah, I think you might be right on that one, I'm afraid. It does look like that is a very, very costly mistake. But, well, it's not over yet. I mean, at the end of the day, Swizzy's not... it's entirely possible he can make a mistake as well. So it is all still to play for at the end of the day. I was just watching the Big Crazy Bertie, Mac and Sim Race dude battling it out, and Bertie's has fallen back to 8th place. But yeah, it's still all to play for, Kirk. I do feel we're going to be seeing Deadline in, if not this lap, next lap, because his tyres are giving up. He's going to need fuel. Pedro is joining the battle. Here we go.
Game on. Is that half speed going to cost Katie Kai a win down to P3 possibly by the end of this race?
There goes Swizzy. He's trying it. He's trying it.
Again, very robust defending from Deadline heading into turn 1. Swizzy with the inside line braking about just after the 150 metre boy. He's got that inside line. He meets the apex. Gives Deadline more space than he's probably entitled to on the exit. and then it takes the lead. Busy with a nice clean overtake up the inside. It looks like Deadline, not only tyres are dying, but he's running out of fuel as well. He looks like he'll be in at the end of this lap, Luke.
Yeah, and I've got a sneaking suspicion we're going to have to see Deadline pit one more time than some of these drivers. He goes for it again. Oh, I thought he was going for it there. I thought he was going for it coming out of the 100R into the left-hander. Oof, but no, these 4 drivers give us a good show.
If I was driving and I saw my mirrors, it would have been a very tense moment, because again, Deadline looking to try and dive. A bit of contact there. 2 bits of contact possibly there. Deadline driving back, is Swizzy braking a bit too late, trying to overtake him before he pits. I'm not sure if you saw it on your screen, Luke.
Not personally, but doesn't mean it didn't happen. This is impressive seeing all these 4 drivers all together. Swizzy's going to be trying to make a break for it. Now he's got up in front of Deadline, but I do feel Katie the Guy is going to be lining up Deadline at least for a slipstream for this one. But will we see some pitting here? Deadline's picked up a penalty. Here comes Pedro on Katie the Guy. He's using those soft tyres to the max. This is going to be a drag down to turn 1 with Pedro in the slipstream of Swizzy. But will Katie the Guy come back at Pedro? He thinks better of it into turn 1. Oh, looks like we have lost Nick for some reason. And yet Deadline is pitted with 1% of fuel. Well done.
I think Pedro needs to absolutely push this lap, because if Swizzy breaks the toe, and then this is Swizzy's race. I think the mistake again, it really is opened up this race for it to be anybody's race to win. As we see Pedro going a bit deep, opening the door for Katie the Guy, possibly coming into the hairpin, tucking in behind Katie the Guy, tucking in behind Pedro in the slipstream. I don't think it's going to be quite close enough to be able to make a move, as they both break about the same point. Yeah, Katie the Guy stays behind for now, Luke.
Yeah, well, he's going to be wanting to come back at him. But, yeah, cracking bit of racing. We've had a message from Nick saying his game crashed. Sorry to hear that, my man. Just take care out there, and please enjoy the rest of the race. Thank you for giving us some on-track action. It was good to see you on track, as always, my man. So, let's have a quick look through the field. We'll come back to this top battle in a moment. Coach wants to keep an eye out for. I'll get my words out in a minute. But he's got Matt coming at him at a rate of knots, followed by Sim Race Dude. Lee in 7th, Fred in 8th. He's having a quieter race, but he's having a solid one. Deadline with a fresh set of medium tyres. Can he go to the end? We will find out. But he has got a half-second penalty to deal with. Stephen, who's clearly on a new set of medium tyres, bringing up in 10th. Big Crazy Bertie has gone to the hard tyre. He's going to the end there, Kirk. Definitely is. And we have Ziggy in 12th at the moment, with a good showing in the sprint race. Sadly, a little bit of a awkward one in the feature so far. Sarah in 13th at the moment on fresh, soft tyres. Let's see if we can set a personal best and give us something to smile about.
Heading into turn 1, we see McManley looking up the inside of Coach. Brakes a bit later. Can he meet the apex? I think McManley outbrakes himself slightly, allowing Coach to cut back on him. Coach with the better exit. They're running side by side into the turn 3. Oh, a little bit of wheel banging there. McManley's up the inside, and McManley holds it for now, Luke.
Yeah, good bit of racing there. I mean, that is, from what I can tell, the legal amount of contact to keep it, well, they're the right amount. Just a little nudge, know that someone's there. Not aggressive. Beautiful little bit of racing there from Max. Good to see. So, good little pass from Mac. And he's getting past Coach, which is on new to medium tyres.
Yeah, using them soft tyres to his advantage.
Yeah. So Race 2's next victim. Looks like it's going to be Coach as well. I think we'll stay with this one for the moment, because it looks like it's going to be the battle on track. We'll just check in with P2 at the moment. Well, Pedro's tyres are going off at a rate of knots now, but he's only got Katie the Guy behind him. I mean, who would worry, right?
It'd be interesting. I think from now, most people can get the medium tyre to the end comfortably. Be a bit close for softs. I think as I was saying, you really want to go to the end of lap 24 in the very earliest. Probably your last time you really want to be going on to the soft tyres. And they don't seem to be lasting much more than 10 or so laps, Luke.
Yeah.
What I'm seeing.
Yeah, I think Bertie managed to get about 18 laps on the McLaren out of the mediums, but he would be driving conservatively, and those soft tyres would get significantly less than that. So yeah, 10 laps seems about right as a bit of a push on those soft tyres. We have seen, particularly in the sprint, some drivers dying with the tyres. So we're still going. Still waiting for Sim Race Dude to get on the back of Coach, who's now absolutely stepped up his pace and trying to keep Sim Race Dude off the back of him, but still under 8 temps and closing. So I think this is the battle on the circuit, Kirk. Will we see a move down into the hairpin?
I'm just looking at Deadline, interestingly enough, picking up another half a second penalty last lap.
That's unfortunate. That is definitely going to allow the top 3 to break away from him a little bit, and if he's not careful, he'll have people like McManley, Coach, and Sim Race Dude coming at him with any more penalties.
Yeah, absolutely. We've seen McManley does have the fastest lap of the race, Luke. So
that's
I'm sure
interesting
McManley's probably be looking at
Pedro's in.
Deadline and possibly licking his lips a little bit, seeing what could be up for grabs right now or later on towards the end of this race, Luke.
Yeah, I mean that is a cracking pace from Mac. I think we're seeing Pedro pit for the last time. Well, I'm betting he's going to go to the medium tyres. Let's have a look. So it's soft at the moment. We'll come back to that in a minute, but chances are... Oh, here we go. Sim Race Dude on Coach. Down the main straight. P4, P5.
Sim Race.
Sim Race Dude backs out.
Managed to outbrake him into the braking zone and keep defending from the outside, Luke.
Yeah, Pedro has gone to the mediums, by the way. Yeah, Sim Race is going to have to try and get past quick, but that Genesis, like the RX Vision, is quick in the straight line. So he's going to have to do it quick before his tyres go off.
Interesting. Look how far behind Deadline is to Pedro.
Ooh, that is a fair point. Yeah, Deadline is going into turn 1 on medium tyres, and Pedro is coming... Well, he's going around the 100R. That is a long way. He's got Fred behind him. So Deadline has fallen off the pace very, very rapidly. Maybe it's just the sheer fuel usage of the RX Vision. He's had to put in so much fuel, and he's been in such a long pit stop, it's really cost him.
Yeah, you certainly wouldn't expect that. Obviously, seeing Deadline battling up the front there to drop almost 20 seconds to Pedro and that. Maybe he could be under pressure from McManley towards the end of this race, Luke.
Yeah, and I've just spotted something at the front. I think Katie the Kai is going for the optimum strategy. I think he's going soft, medium, soft, because he's pushing those mediums a long way. Like you said, about 10 laps seems right, and he just sets the purple sector in sector 1, so he's still pushing as hard as he can. But that fuel difference between the two, it's going to be a lot shorter as a stop for Swizzy. But the advantage Katie's got over Swizzy is he's on the wheel, which means his tyre life is going to be significantly improved. But that spin earlier on has really cost Katie, hasn't it, Kurt?
Yeah, absolutely. It was interesting to see Swizzy go medium though. Obviously started on mediums and then pitted and took a second set of medium tyres.
Ooh, somewhere we've seen that battle for P4 between Coach and Sim Race Dude. Sim Race Dude has fallen off the back by about 2.5 seconds, so unseen by us, but Sim Race Dude's fallen away. Either an incident or a mistake though. But keep an eye. The one top runner in the top 6 that has finished his final stop, I believe, Pedro, running in P6. 46 seconds off Swizzy at the moment, but Swizzy yet to do his final stop. So we'll see if he comes into play and threatens the top 2.
Yeah, absolutely. Kane Kite in. Maybe a bit early for the softs, or what we were expecting from the softs, Luke.
He might be trying it.
Go for Yeah, I think he's certainly going to be pushing it towards the end, isn't he?
I think he's
And
got to try it.
Swizzy possibly.
I think he's got to try it. He's got to try the undercut. He doesn't want to be on those soft tyres, but he can probably get an extra lap compared to Swizzy on those tyres, thanks to the use of the wheel. So we will see. He's taken on his fuel. There he is. Let's hope Weiss can give him some autonomous ultra instincts and allow him to go a little bit quicker. If you're not a Dragon Ball super fan, you won't get that one, Kirk.
Yeah, absolutely. It'll be interesting to see where he comes out.
Here he goes. Softs.
Between, yeah. We see Pedro coming down the pitch straight. It's like he could have lost a little bit of time to Katie Kai during the pit stops, and we see Deadline absolutely nowhere compared to Katie Kai.
Yeah, I fear that either he's had an incident somewhere, or he's had to take on so much fuel so early that the overcut has worked for KD Kai and Pedro.
Yeah, he had to take almost a full tank of fuel, didn't he, during the pit stop?
Definitely did, and it looks like that RX Vision does drink a little bit of fuel. Mac, though, running P2. Unfortunately, I can't remember what. I think he started on medium. He did start on medium, so he's going to go on soft to the end as well. I think he's going to be threatening Deadline, you know. And it's going to be a significant faster too.
Yeah, Swizzy responding to KD Kai by pitting this lap. Be interested to see if Manley stays out for one more lap or pits as well. We see Coach is almost certainly got to be coming this lap as his tyres are absolutely knackered. Same with Sim Racing Dude, who has managed to catch the gap back up to under half a second now, Luke. I think this is it.
Swizzy and
interestingly enough, we see Sim Race Dude. Coach is coming in, but we see Sim Race Dude stay out for one more lap. Taking the lead of the race, Luke.
Well, yes, he will effectively. That's a very interesting call. He's definitely going to go to soft tyres to the end. Maybe he thinks he can only do 9 laps. Oh, no, wait, Swizzy has just come out of B1. Just come out by about half a second. So, but Sim Race Dude's tyres are going to be way, way past their best. And KD Kai, it looks like he's had to take on more fuel. And do you know what? Looking at it, I'm not sure if KD Kai is either overfueled or Swizzy's underfueled. That's a very large amount of difference in the amount of fuel loads between the two, but we'll see.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Pedro has the most out of a lot of them, but he's going to be going full revs to the end. Coach is coming up the pits as well. Coming out in 8th place at the moment, behind Deadline, who's going to have very second-hand tyres by the end.
Yeah, I think the battle for our last podium position is now is if Manley can catch Pedro on them, with him being on the soft tyres and Pedro being on the medium tyre. I think realistically, barring a major mistake from Kai, he's probably got second locked down. I don't think he'll have the pace to be able to really be able to challenge Swizzy on pace alone. Yeah, Luke, I think this is P1 and P2 finish locked down bar any big mistakes, and it'll be a case of Manley trying to hunt down Pedro for the final podium position, Luke.
I think you're right. Here comes Sim Race Dude into the pits, though. That's a scary pit lane, isn't it?
Yeah, very. Yeah, it's one of them, you know, you got to attack it to make up the time, but you know, if you cut it a little bit, you're getting that 3-second penalty for abusing pit limits.
Yeah, quite right, quite right. And hello to Studio. I've seen you sneak in the lobby. Please don't distract the drivers. That's all I'm asking, Studio. But feel free to chat here.
You see Sim Racing Dude drop down to P6. Can he come out in front of Deadline?
Deadline putting a lap on the Hawkeye. Coach coming through as well, putting a lap on Miss Hawkeye as well. Let's see where Sim Race 2's still in the pits, but he's just finished fueling. Soft tyres to the end, keep an eye on him.
Yeah, absolutely. It'll be interesting to see if Deadline on the medium tyres, obviously quite a few laps, 3 or 4 laps old now, can he defend from both Coach and Sim Race Dude towards the end of this race?
I can only feel that Deadline is featured very, very prominently to begin with, but he's going to be falling through the pack. He's gone for that aggressive strategy, That's now pay.
Katie
It's not paying off, is it?
No. So yeah, the aggressive strategy failed. Katie Kai picking up a half-second penalty somewhere. Track limits probably. Obviously not really what you want to see from Katie Kai's point of view. Is it going to cost him probably a second, as we see as the penalty costs you down the straight?
He might be a bit
really
lucky
playing
here. He might be a bit lucky here. He might have the slipstream to Bertie. That'll cost him minimally if he can just stay within the slipstream. But yeah, you are right. He's going to have Pedro coming at him if he's not careful. Do you see in the background, I think that is Fred in P4 coming in the pits.
Yeah, right.
Indeed.
He'll be pitting.
There goes Mac.
If we battle for P5 right now, Luke, between Deadline and Coach. As we see Coach get into the slipstream, pulls out early. Deadline not really defending this.
Let's face it.
We see,
let's face it, that's probably the only car that can match the RX Vision for straight line speed.
Deadline brakes a bit later than Coach. Does he outbrake himself? Possibly just a little bit, maybe a little bit of rubbing there. But Deadline manages to hold it round the outside, defending it round the outside. Luke, what a line through turn 1 to be able to defend around the outside.
He's been good today, hasn't he? He's been very good today. But the more that these two fight, they're going to bring Sim Race 2 at them. On the fresh soft tyres.
Yeah, absolutely. See, already catching up by about 3 or 4 tenths in that first sector alone due to their battling.
Yep. Fred out on soft tyres to the end. P9. I think he'll be grabbing at least one place off Stephen. I think, yeah, he'll still have to stop. Definitely still have to stop. But Stephen running in P8 at the moment. Lee having quite a race today, running in P10. Just catching, going sideways at the 100R, at the Coca-Cola curve into the 100R. So, yeah, that's running hard tyres, interesting. But he's been followed by Ziggy in P11, who has a dead front left tyre. So he'll be in, I think, next lap for some fresh soft tyres. So Big Crazy Bertie in 12th and Sarah in 13th.
I think Lee will be very happy this weekend. You know, just that P4 from the sprint race, he'll be very happy with.
Yeah, quite right. And he had a cracking sprint race, particularly Mac and... Or, Mac and Lee Mac, whichever you want to put it. Turning up just as we started the sprint race. Fortunately, not being able to qualify, but being lucky enough to get into the lobby. Swizzy sets a fastest middle sector, as of course he does. But yeah, cracking driving from both Mac and from Lee today.
Interestingly enough, Swizzy's personal best lap is still about 6 tenths slower than Katie Kai's fastest lap. And I don't want to say anything, Luke, but it's certainly looking very dark out on track. You see Swizzy run slightly wide.
It's something we haven't considered yet. The weather could still change in the final laps.
Yeah. If we look towards Mount Fuji, we've got a lot of dark clouds that way on, and it seems like it is very misty or hazy, Luke.
It's entirely possible. It's this is Gran Turismo. Anything can happen. And as Mario Walker would say about F1, anything can happen, and it usually does. But for the moment, Swizzy, P1, he does set that fastest lap cut. Katie Kai, P2. Oh. Did you spot something?
No, I'm just saying I should keep my mouth shut when it comes to fastest laps. You know, Swizzy doesn't take anything lying down, does he?
No, and you should have noticed he was setting purple sectors, but you never keep Swizzy down. At the moment, Coach, he's still trying to get past Deadline. We've missed probably a lap or two of these guys. I thought Coach would have been by now, but nope. Coach still on the back of him, and Sim Race Dude is now 2, maybe 3 seconds closer. Deadline going massively defensive into the first corner. Take it away, Coach.
Yeah, we see Coach trying to go around the outside, Deadline breaking it a slight bit later, and he just parks it on the apex. You know, there's nothing. Yeah, it's just done perfectly what you would do in a defense. He just parked it on the apex and really gave Coach nowhere to go, Luke.
Yeah, and Coach is going to have to be careful. He's got a lot more front grip than Deadline at the moment, but it means he's going to be faster out the corners, and it will mean that Deadline's going to be parking it on the apexes They just have to be careful not to tangle with each other. But yeah, so here comes Sim Race Dude. He's going to be joining this battle. But do either of them have enough straight line speed to get past Deadline?
Yep. We've seen Deadline. Mazda, absolutely incredible straight line speed.
At the front, Swizzy's just put a lap on Steven, which is, I think, very respectable. Anyone being lapped at this late in the race by a Swizzy who was an utter alien can definitely, be very, very happy with themselves. Very, very happy with themselves.
Absolutely.
But Swizzy's next victim will be Lee. So Swizzy after some more scalps.
Yeah, absolutely. We've seen Coach trying to make the move early this time down the pit straight, carrying on a lot more street, and he's passed even before the pit lane.
Here comes
we
Deadline.
See Deadline tucking him back behind. He's looking back to the right again. He breaks just after the 150 meter, but he goes sailing. He's gone too deep, which allows Coach to cut back on the inside and gives Sim Race, dude, the possible look into turn 3, Luke.
Yeah, quite possibly. Replay of this. Here we go.
It looks like, Deadline tries to outbrake Coach into turn 1 and just outbrakes himself and sends himself way too deep.
Good bit of racing though.
Absolutely, Luke. Deadline trying to defend with all he has into turn 1, and it was just too much in the end, Luke.
Yep, and he's still got 4.5 laps, still more to do, and those tyres are looking a bit second hand, and here comes Sim Race Dude. Is he going to do it straight away?
I think Deadline's outbroken himself again. As we see, Sim Race Dude take the apex, tries to cut back on him, didn't quite get the traction to be able to really challenge him.
But I'll tell you what, the difference in tyres is going to be so significant here, we might see a pass on track around the slow corners. But Sim Race Dude, he won't lob it. He won't lob it, but he'll wait his time. In fact, I think he's not going to want to wait. He's going to want to go after Coach. And hello to the Candyman Piper, who is in the chat. He has just said, I was paying so much attention to this, I lost track of time. I might be late for work. I'll take that as a good time.
Yeah, absolutely. If we keep you that interested, it's always a good sign. We see Deadline getting a very poor exit out of the final corner. With Sim Race Dude all over the back of him. Is Sim Race Dude going to pull to the left or pull to the right? He pulls to the left. Is Deadline going to outbrake himself getting into turn 1? As we both break, we see Deadline breaking later than Sim Race Dude. Sim Race Dude possibly looking for the cutback as he takes quite a lot of that inside curve and picks up a half a second penalty.
That's unfortunate. He's just got to stay with him. That is unfortunate.
You're taking a bit too much there, Luke.
That's very strange to pick up a penalty there, but he was so focused on getting that cutback, it didn't really work for him, I'm afraid. But he's got a tyre life, he's got the time. He's going to be wanting to get after Coach, but I don't think it's going to happen today. But he's going to be wanting to get past Deadline as soon as possible, but it is a matter of time, I feel, before Deadline's tyres give up the ghost. But again, that's not what you want to be doing. You want to be getting past the driver in front of you quickly and then go after the guy in front. But looks like Coach has gone for Sim Race Dude today. And just keeping an eye going up the grid again. Oh, Ziggy has picked up a half-second penalty. He's going to serve it here. And Mac is going to be putting a lap on him. Just looking at Mac, he's only 5.7 behind Pedro. He was 10 seconds previously. But, tell you what, Pedro's going to be struggling for tyre grip just like Mac towards the end of the race. So keep an eye on P3 as well. I think that battle might up towards the end, Kirk. I hadn't considered that one.
Possibly, but Manley's going to have to up his pace because right now he's only lapping about a second to a second and a half quicker than Pedro, which really needs to be more like 2 seconds for McManley really to be able to challenge on the final lap, Luke.
Yeah. And out front, Swizzy has extended the gap to 14 seconds. Katie Nakai's tyres look like they have died. So I think that is settled. We're going to keep an eye on P3, P4. As well as Sim Race Dude has got Deadline somewhere. I don't think we're going to see it on replay because it looked like it was... Yeah. Oh, it looks like it was made somewhere in the middle of the track. But then Sim Race Dude has served his penalty. Deadline's going to be coming back at him. So that's the last thing Sim Race Dude will be wanting. But I fear that, yeah, Deadline's tyres look like they're done. Oh!
Yeah, I don't think Deadline's gonna have anything to fight back with. I think this is just gonna be P7 for him. Unless he wants to pay at the end of this lap and possibly go for a fastest lap of the race if he feels confident enough. No harm in not trying, once you know you've given up.
Ooh, for Deadline though, he's got 21-second gap to Fred. I don't think he's got time to do it.
I think realistically, the only real people who could do it is McManley or Deadline.
Even Mac has only got about 22 seconds to coach. I don't think any of the top runners have space to do it. I don't think anyone has the space to do it, except for maybe Stephen, who is 30 seconds ahead of Ziggy. But I don't think he's going to be wanting to. It looks like he's pitted recently regardless. I don't think he's going to want to. But I'm going to be keeping an eye. Yeah, that Mac looks like his tyres might be starting to give out. He's only got 2 laps to catch just over 4 seconds to Pedro. I'm not sure that's going to happen. But otherwise, I think most of the battles on the track are more or less done now. But Deadline's tyres look like they are gone.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I don't think there's anything left, bar a mistake from the people in front. I think it's just going to be P7 for Deadline tonight, Luke.
I tell you what, though, that is strange, though. I mean, it was about 15 laps ago we were talking about Deadline for P4, or maybe on the fringe of the P3, and now it's a minute behind Swizzy. What happened there to Deadline?
So he must have spun somewhere else or something, Luke, and obviously it's just cost him everything, all his positions and all the track time from a guy who was fighting for the lead, battling with Swizzy and KDK for first place, to being over a minute behind after the pit stops, Luke.
Yep. Thank you to Lee for getting out of the way, Swizzy, honouring the blue flags. Very professional racing from Lee, who is a professional racing driver and I believe a team owner as well. So good to see it inherently in the esports side as well. Okay, the Kai's tyres look dead as well. Final lap, Kirk. Here we go. 3 seconds between Pedro and Mac. Mac trying to pick up the slipstream from Sarah. So he's trying everything he's got. But 3 seconds is a tall order even for Mac, isn't it?
I think at the end it just wasn't enough in the end. Obviously tyres are just starting to give up the ghost now. Pedro driving very well, kept it clean. You know, look at his last few laps. His last 3 laps in the 1 minute 40.5 fives, and only just dropped off last lap to a 40.9. I think Pedro's done very well today. Obviously starting P6, P7 was it?
I believe so, yes.
Getting a podium from it. I'm sure he'd be ecstatic with it.
Yeah, I would agree. And take it away, Kurt. We've got the Swizzy just about across the line.
Yeah, so Swizzy coming past the penalty zone with no penalty. He pulls it to the right. He gives a little flash of the headlights. And he takes the win tonight. Right. I said, what can we say? I think even without that mistake, Keith Coward had a very big job trying to defend from Swizzy in the final few laps. Unfortunate today, maybe we could have seen something else if KDK didn't make that spin. You just be thinking of what if, or what could have been if I didn't make that mistake, didn't get on that throttle a bit too aggressively, exiting turn 1, and how I could have possibly won this race. We have Pedro taking P3. We're very happy with this drive. Made the right call in the end, box early for the medium tyre. McManley couldn't quite catch Pedro in the end, but starting from the back, I'm sure he'd be very happy with a P4 finish here today. And then we have Coach joining us again this round, taking P5.
Super sub.
I'm sure in another round, well, in another world, he'd have been up there with McManley, but obviously getting entwined in them battles early on in the race, giving P5 finish, which I'm sure he'd be very happy with. In race dude, taking P6, I'm sure he'll be pleased with that as well. Obviously overtaking Deadline towards a few laps ago to be able to finish in P6. And again, P7 deadline. Again, a story of what ifs or what happened. So we'll probably have to check the replays to see what happened to him, Luke. Obviously, before the final round of pit stops, it was battling up there with the leaders. Pit and go down to finish 1:07 behind eventual winner Swizzy. You know, we'll have to see what happened there. Then we have Fred taking P8, Lee taking P9, which after seeing where he finished in the sprint race, he could be a little bit disappointed with. I was taking P4 in the sprint to finish P9 in the feature race. Obviously, strategy must not quite have worked out. We take Stephen taking P10, Iggy taking P11, Sarah 12, and Bertie rounding out our grid tonight. Luke.
Do you know what? I thoroughly enjoyed that. I will. I will invite the top three into the podium box in a couple of minutes' time. Give us a little bit of a chance to decompress and have a little chat about the race. And well done to Fred. Yes, you wasn't lapped. I'm very impressed with both your speed and basically everyone in the lobby. So well done. I mean, but Fred, you've finished ahead of some very experienced drivers in there. So well done. Yeah, with regards to the breakdown for the actual race, Kirk, I completely agree with literally everything you have said there. And I don't think, despite what position people think, you know, is not what they should have achieved and stuff like that, I think everyone has actually done very, very well. And I'm not trying to be condescending. I genuinely believe everyone has done well in this race. But again, Swizzy, the bar is set high. He's done it again. Oh. And we have a raid from the Sarah of the Hawkey. So give her a follow if you know her. If you don't already know her, sorry, and check out her Twitch. She is one of the co-founder of the Nighthawk Racing channel and group. But we're going to have to say, let's we'll go into the comms box in a moment. I'm just going to bring up the calendar for the rest of the season. We're doing this on every Wednesday. Next race will be Nürburgring, which we'll be looking forward to. I'll bring up the replay for this in a moment. Everyone save the replay should they want to. And we'll say we're going to invite the top three into the com box, which should be Katie the Kai, Swizzy, and Pedro for the sprint race. So feel free to join in. And I particularly want to have a word with Deadline if he's available. I want to talk to him about his race. So when we get a chance, if those 3 or 4 drivers want to drop in, that would be absolutely fantastic. But I do want to say, cracking race from so many of the drivers. Let's bring up the results on screen. Okay, we'll have a quick talk through those and go from there.
Yeah, absolutely. I think driver of the day today is probably. Oh, it's got to be between.
And thank you, Sarah, for the raid again. Thank you very, very much. And I do advise everyone, before going anywhere, give Sarah Hawkey a follow on Twitch and Nighthawk Racing on YouTube for the back catalogue of all of these races. And I can honestly say I think we're getting better in quality as each race goes on. So, sorry to cut across your Kirk, but I'll tell you what, let's choose a driver of the day for the sprint and the feature, and then one overall. I think we're going to agree straight away on the sprint. It's going to be Lee, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely got to be Lee. You know, starting from the back, finishing P4, really took advantage of everyone battling around him to finish an excellent P4. Yeah, no doubt about it. Lee gets driver of the day for the sprint race.
Job done.
Feature race tonight.
I'm going to say mine straight away. I'm going to say mine absolutely straight away. I know you're in two minds, but for me... no, I'm in two minds of it now. It's between Pedro and Mac as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's close, but to start from the back and only finish was that 3 seconds behind Pedro, who started P8.
Yeah.
So he had to overtake more cars. He started slightly further back, had more traffic to deal with throughout the race. Had a slightly faster best lap as well, fastest lap. I think Manley just edges it.
The funny thing
over
is,
Pedro.
we've just had a raid from our McManley, and we've got Timo in the chat as well. And Pedro says, "What a race!" Do you know what? And it's not because of the raid. I'm going to agree with you, McManley, Ray Mac Pro. I think you deserve driver of the feature race as well.
Here we are, Mac. You are driver of the feature race. Well done, mate.
But who is going to have the overall driver of the day? I'll tell you what. Let's do some interviews and we'll have a little think of it, shall we? Because this is gonna be tricky.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll join you in the podium room, Luke.
Yeah, I will see you there. Right, give us 10 seconds and we'll be right back with that. Right, if any of the top three drivers in particular want to come and say hello, so Swizzy, Katie the Kai, and Pedro want to come and say hello, that would be absolutely fantastic. And Deadline, I see you're here as well, and Mac. But I tell you what, we'll have a word with all of you guys. But I do want to start with Swizzy. Exceptional racing is absolute always, my man. Well done, and it's good to see you on the winner step. How was it for you out there?
Thanks. I don't know what to say. Like, it's a very tricky race.
Yeah, it looks like you had to go for more like a conservative strategy. I mean, you went for double mediums and softs towards the end. Was there a worry in your mind regarding the tyre strategy?
Not really. Like, I just tried to focus on my own doing. I struggle with the tires, so I knew medium, soft, definitely the best for me, and just keep it consistent. And yeah, I think it really worked very well.
That's it, my man. Impressive as always. Kurt, do you have any words for our Swizzy?
Yeah, Swizzy. Obviously you won by about 18 seconds in the end. During about the halfway point in the race when you were battling with Deadline, Kaid Kai, and obviously Pedro joined the back of your group, did you think it was going to be a lot closer than what it ended up being?
Yeah, I was thinking that Kai gonna win because, I mean, he's always rapid, and I think my consistency was today better. And yeah, I was a little bit annoyed, of course, because I was kind of stuck behind Deadline. But it's very hard to overtake, and I was hoping that he wouldn't battle with me because I felt like I have more pace, and I think his tires were like dead and fuel. So yeah, at that point I was thinking that I'm losing too much time. But yeah, I mean, props to Kai, like he's always up there, very quick. But like I'm sure he's gonna start to win these races because like he deserves it as much as I deserve it, I feel like. And yeah, I just want to show a lot of respect to him. Always very fun to battle, always different strats, so it's not easy to see the real cap. And I think he made a mistake on turn 1 or something, and he spun, and that's where I kind of knew that if I don't do mistakes, I'm gonna win.
Yeah, I mean that is the difference at the moment. Unfortunately, Arkai has had a couple of mistakes here and then a Dragon Trail, which has made the difference. And unfortunately, robbed us of a little bit of a showdown right towards the end. But you are right. At the end of the day, if you have a perfect race as you have done, you'll get at least guaranteed a podium. So you're doing exceptionally well, man, and very kind words to Arkai. So absolutely well done out there, and you're deserving of the win, and I entirely agree with that.
Yeah, and I just want to say, like, very well done to Petro. Like, he's improving a lot, and I had a little talk with him a couple of days ago, and yeah, I'm just glad to see that he got podium because he definitely has the pace for it. And also, I want to say well done to Mac. Like I didn't see him on the track, but like coming from the back to P4, like can't be really disappointed with that.
Yeah, quite right. And we'd noticed the same, and very, very kind words from you. Swizzy, thank you very, very much. You looking forward to the next race, which now it's Nürburgring Grand Prix. You looking forward to that?
No, but you know,
I'll see you on track regardless, mate.
yeah,
It's my turn.
racing is fun, but yeah, it's not my favorite, but gonna be fun.
Good to be able, man. Thank you for dropping in, and we'll see you for the next one. Absolute pleasure.
Thank you, thank you.
Take care, man.
Congratulations, Wizzy.
Right, we're going to move on. Is Pedro ready? RP3.
Yes, I am.
Fantastic. Say hello, Pedro. How was it for you out there?
Hello. Well, the sprint race was, I struggled a lot, as it has been a bit of the tendency for the last few events, which is definitely something that I need to work on. But I was over the moon with the result of the feature race and how everything panned out in the end.
Quite right.
I'm still lost for words. Like it's a bit of like all the emotions at the moment. Just happy with the result and obviously with the stress of the situation because I was seeing that Mac was closing in and I really had to keep it cool and just keep doing my best with very worn tires.
Yeah, that's absolutely fabulous drive for you there, mate. And quite frankly, as Swizzy said, he's seen you coming a long way in a very short amount of time. And I know a load of us have been trying to raise our game, and every time you've done it, you've done exactly the same. So kudos to you.
Thank you.
You should be smiling at the end of this one. P3 in this grid. It's nothing to be sniffed at. I mean, we've got such drivers as Swizzy, Kai, Coach, Simrace Dude, and many others. I'm just going to name but a couple there. So, absolute congratulations. It did look like in the sprint, your tyres were coming good right at the end, but you just needed a lap or two more. It's like that tricky zone where it's not quite the right tyre to go for soft or the medium. So, tricky one, but I don't think you need to worry about your sprint pace. Just a little bit of unluckiness, but you're more than made up for it in the P3. So well done.
Thank you. Yeah, I think I could. I mean, I didn't have the cleanest of sprint races. Like I got a few bumps here and there, but like nothing major. But obviously, it disrupts your momentum, which affects your consistency in that. And as you said, like I think the tires were coming good towards the end, and it just felt a bit frustrating to finish that far down the grid. But definitely, the feature definitely made up for it. And at some point to share like the same part of the track with drivers, very fast drivers. I really enjoyed that battle between Deadline, Swizzy, and Kai. Just the fact that I was sharing like the same part of the track as them, and even at some point I overtook KD the Kai, even though we were on different strategies and that. But
it was impressive.
It was definitely unexpected, but
it was good. One very quick question and very quick answer from me to you, and then one from Kirk to you as well. Sorry, Kirk. How did you feel, very quickly, about Mac chasing you down at the end?
Well, I must say, like, congratulations to Mac, because that was a very impressive drive from him coming from like the back of the grid into P4, and I was definitely feeling the pressure. Like, was very stressed towards the end, and I thought that I was probably going to lose it, but I tried to keep it cool, and glad to get that result. But congratulations to Mac.
That's spot on. Kirk, any quick questions for Pedro?
Yeah. At what point did you realise, Pedro, that you were on for the podium? Was it before the pit stops when you were battling with Deadline, Swizzy and KD Kai, or was it after the pit stops when you saw everybody started pitting and you were slowly working your way up the order?
Well, I think it was. I thought that the podium could be on maybe when I was battling with Deadline, Swizzy and Kai. just because I could see that, Coach was the driver that was directly behind me at the time, and I was seeing that I had a good pace, like from the first stint onwards as well, because they were on the softs and I was on the mediums, and I was still able to, keep up with them and sometimes be just a little bit quicker. And yeah, I think it was from there. And yeah, just before I go, I also want to congratulate Swizzy on the win and Kai for another very good performance. And yeah, special thanks to Swizzy for all the advice he gave me prior to this race, because it definitely worked. And I don't think I would have got this result if it wasn't for that. So
spot on, my man, spot on. And that's what we're all about here at Nighthawk Racing. We are here to get good racing out of each other, not just ourselves. So
exactly,
I fully agree with that statement. And Pedro, well done. And,
thank you, guys.
Yeah, it's a pleasure, and I will talk to you after this, no doubt. So I'll see you soon.
Yeah, see you soon.
Take care, my man. Right, we were due to have Mac drop in, but unfortunately he can't make it. So we're going to move on to the next best thing, or at least some people say that, to Deadline, who I believe is in the comms. Can you come say hello to us, my man?
Hola. Hola,
Hello.
how you doing?
You
Howdy,
gave us some hell of some racing, my man.
Oh, well, won't lie, wasn't expecting that. But yeah, sprint race was a bit of a shock value, because I generally thought, I say halfway through the race, thinking a possibility of a win around Fuji could be a reality, but unfortunately, obviously, since Swizzy was Swizzy being a little bit too quick, caught up to me, and I had no answer for that. Unfortunately, even if I did try my best to defend like an absolute madman, it still didn't end. I still managed to finish second, unfortunately, but at the same time, fortunately as well.
But hell, man, you gave us entertainment from every single lap you were on, so absolutely outstanding driving. From what we could see, robust, tough, but from what we could see, fair. But we'll see what the stewarding makes of all of it. But however, I could say it looked all good to me from my angle. So I have to say, honestly, well done. And you definitely utilised the straight line speed of that Arc's Vision to defend as well as overtake beautifully. So well done on that one.
Oh, cheers. To be honest, I kind of came in blind when it comes to the car choice, because as you can tell by probably the delivery, obviously I had no practice coming into this, and no chance of actually finishing off delivery. So I do apologise of now my number board not being proper, but
I think we'll let you off for this one. You gave us a good enough racing not to worry about it too much.
Oh, fair enough.
But we'll demote you to last, so don't worry about it too much. No, you're good. You're good. You're good. Kirk, any questions for our deadline?
Yeah, what happened after the pit stop deadline? Obviously, we saw before the pit stops, you were up with the leaders, battling for the leaders. To end a minute and second off behind the eventual winner, Swizzy, where did it all kind of fall off?
This is where the main bit of my iconic moment of being useless when it comes to strategy. I thought if I pit for max fuel, I could finish the race on my last stint, but then I realized I had to juggle the fuel at the same time to actually do that, which meant I didn't actually gain any advantage of doing said strategy. So in the end, I only gained about a good couple of laps, but then my mediums also kind of dropped off, which meant a slow sim racer and Coach managed to caught up to me and take away what could probably be a P4, P5 in the end, which unfortunately became a P7. But honestly, that is just me being useless when it comes to the strategy idea. So
I don't think you were useless. I will cut across you on that one. I don't think you were useless. You went for the optimal start strategy. With the other guys, they went for the reverse strategy. And that is the whole point of the format that we've got. I mean, you didn't feature because you were on the fast race. You featured because you had the speed in you. It's just it didn't work long term, and it's just a matter of the nature of the car, the track, the strategy, and they caught up to you. But I don't think that is any slight of how you managed to do today. So well done.
Cheers, man. But I have, hopefully, maybe in the next rounds, I will be a little bit more competitive. I'm honestly not too sure. I think this might just be a fluke, so I'll be expecting myself to be back down the list again.
Well, if you're going to go back to wheel, get some practicing, because the next one is Nürburgring Grand Prix circuit. I will see you on track. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Sarah will be in the comm spots the next time. So we'll have a few changes up and have a bit of fun with that. But honestly, man, well done. And Kirk, final thought
Thank
on
you so
any
much.
of those?
Yeah, absolutely. If you could keep the pace up you showed tonight, Deadline, there's no reason why you couldn't almost certainly be challenging for a podium next week at the Nürburgring.
Well, I'll try my best. I'll try my best for you.
And I'll try my best to stop you from getting there, man. So again,
Oh,
I will be out there with you.
damn. Oh dear. Oh,
It's always a battle when we're on track together, isn't it? I can't help but battle with you.
Honestly, to be fair, we're actually quite good when it comes to that battle, and we never seem to have any issues on track. So
I know. It's all, I always set my
all
sights at
good.
you just because I know you're on track. Because I've got to beat Deadline. It's all good fun, man. It's all good fun. That comes from a place of respect. So I look forward to it.
Absolutely. Can't wait,
Right.
honestly. I cannot wait.
Good man. Right. I'm going to leave it there. Deadline, Swizzy, and Pedro, thank you very much for dropping into the podium section. And we'll see you all, hopefully, for the next round in Nürburgring.
Thank you.
So, thank you very much,
Hey.
guys.
See you soon.
Thank you. See you.
Catch
Bye.
you later,
Bye,
guys.
everyone.
Cheers, guys.
Right, Kirk. Let's have a very, very quick roundup on this. What did you think for today? I thought that was a very cracking set of races.
Yeah, I think you've summed it up really well. We saw obviously some unexpected action today with Deadline being right up there in both the sprint race and quite a bit of the feature race tonight. Possibly, I guess we could say unexpected podium finisher as well. And Pedro, sometimes it can be a bit hit and miss on these sort of races as we've seen before. Thinking of Apollos, where obviously he was down towards the bottom and the mid pack in both races. Yeah, so kind of unexpected podium finish with Pedro. Obviously, yeah, I think we've seen everything today, apart from that elusive wet weather. I'm waiting for it to come in there, cause absolute carnage.
Yeah,
But I
me and
think
you both.
probably-
Me and you both.
But yeah, I think overall probably up there is one of the better races we've had so far. Obviously, we saw lots of it overtaking up and down throughout the pack, and I say bring on Nürburgring.
Yeah, exactly the same. Quite frankly, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I am personally racing, and it's one I'm definitely looking forward to. However, I'm going to miss commentating on the next one because this one, as far as I'm concerned, has been exceptional. I'm very, very proud of each and every racer there. We've had a few technical delays today, but everyone's kept their composure, and we've got on without any hitches from our drivers, like none whatsoever. So proud of each and every single one of them. That's what we're all about here. But otherwise, Kirk, I think that it's time to bring it to an end. Do we have a driver of the day outright? Do we?
I think the only thing that stops Lee from claiming overall drive of the day is obviously not quite the best race tonight in the feature race. So I think it's got to be McManley. It's my driver of the day overall.
Yeah, I think he has come from so far back, literally back of the grid twice to P4 in the feature. I can't remember if he finished in the it wasn't a great race in the sprint for him, but he got quite far up the field, all things considered. And I'd be willing to agree with you on that. That's not just because he raided, although it helps. But yeah.
And obviously we have the Swizzy category just because Swizzy is an absolute monster at this game.
Yeah, Swizzy is he's got the top of the table point. So as far as I'm concerned, yeah, he that's his reward. But I do want to say a big special thank you to our admin, our co-founder Sarah Hawkey, who without any of this, none of this would have happened. So thank you to her. Pedro for being as involved as he always is, and it's always great, and he's done work behind a lot of liveries and a lot of the other stuff as well. To Ziggy for being the best consultant ever. Big Crazy Bertie for helping on so many things behind the scenes as well. And quite frankly, yourself as well, Kirk. This has been amazing, and we still have 3 races to go. And are you looking forward to these? At least I know you're going to commentate on at least 2 of them. We'll find out about the final one, see if you maybe make an on-track debut, but we'll ask around about that. But you looking forward to at very least the next 2 and final one of the season? Oh, have we lost you, Kirk? I think we might have lost Kirk there briefly. But what I'm going to do is I am going to end it there. I'm sure he was happy all in all. But we're going to end it there, and we're going to send out a raid. And do you know what? This is the first opportunity I've ever had to raid him on Twitch. His name is John, otherwise known as 00 Raven, he puts my commentary skills to absolute shame. He is the lead commentator, the owner of Raven Com, so we're going to go and raid him. So I'm going to put it on the outro, send you over to Raven, who is apparently playing darts, or at least commentating on it. So you can see his skills. So, thank you all. Kirk, you still with me? Are you back? Nope, he's not back. I'm going to say thank you all, and see you all again on the next one. Take care.